It has been not even a week, but I'm sure, what's going through your head?
Overwhelming. From the beginning, from the accident, from the wake, from the amount of people that showed up to pay their respects to Cameron, the funeral, the responses from her friends, the love I've received from family, from my family, from church family, from my work family. Her friends have sent me text after text, message after message about how much she meant to them and what she did for them that I don't think she ever truly understood. It's overwhelming, the response from everybody and the love and the grace and the peace I have found from God on this has been, there's no words.
When you found out about the accident and then the situation of it, did it surprise you?
Honestly, yes, it was a complete shock because as a mother, you always prepare that it's you, that something, I had asked God a long time ago that just to let me, I was a single mom for a very long time. I got married 2 years ago, but for many years I was a single mom, and I just asked God to let me see her graduate because I knew that meant she was an adult and she would be okay. And so and with that promise, I just had in my mind that something, I know that sounds silly, but that it would be me somehow that would at some point show my faith to others, maybe through how I handled something, but it was about me. And when this happened, it floored me. I'm able to show people through my faith in God what He can give you through this. I just never expected it to be my daughter, my only daughter.
Texting and driving is it's not new.
No.
This is an issue we've heard for a long time.
I'm the first one to say I'm guilty.
And
absolutely.
What is, when I heard about this, I was commended that not even a week, and you already want to talk about texting and driving. But why is it so important for you that you want to talk about it?
Because Cameron was a good driver. I was the one that she fussed at all the time. Mama, you're gonna kill me. I said, well, have you died yet? I know I'm making a joke of it, but I was the one that went, I speed, I text, I did all those things that I knew that I shouldn't be doing. And I would say the one thing, I tried to be a good role model for her in everything I did, but I was like, the one thing do not follow your mom about is how she, my driving. And I said, she was a good driver. She went the speed limit. She wore her seatbelt. She knew not to text. She, I'm not saying she never did, but I don't know. But she knew not to because she knew. But she did it this one time, and it cost her life.
And it's one of those things where people say it doesn't matter how good of a driver you are.
No.
It doesn't matter if
No.
you text or drive all the
No.
time. It's just the one time.
One time. That's all it took.
What do we know about that last text message?
I haven't heard that it's something about she was texting somebody happy birthday, or it was something to do about someone's birthday. It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter what it was. It was obviously what she thought was important to pick it up to do, but it was a distraction she allowed. And she made a mistake that we all make every single day.
You're talking about at the funeral, you were pulling all of her friends aside. What were you telling them?
I told them two things. As they come up, I asked if they were her friends. And the first thing I said was I thanked them for being her friend. And I pulled them by their arm, and if their parents were with them, I asked if they come too, and I brought them to the casket, and I said, I want you to look. And I said, there's two things I want to tell you. And the first is that I know where Cameron is. That's just her body. She was saved at 7 years. I tried to do a little laugh, and I said, actually, she got a double dose because she was rebaptized about 11. She knew the Lord, and I know where she's at. And I take comfort in that. So I want you to know that's not her. That little sassy, spunky, talented, beautiful girl is up in heaven, and I want you to know that. And then I said the second thing is that she had text. This is what happened is because she texted one message, a happy birthday to somebody, and I told him it didn't matter. It was a distraction. And I said, she was my only child. I said, I don't know your parents, but I know you have them, and I know they would be devastated. I said, this is the hardest thing I'll ever go through. You have to put the phone down. And I asked every one of them to promise me not to text and drive, to put their phone down when they were on the road.
What was that response from the kids and the parents?
Crying, yes ma'am, I promise. The parents were crying in the background, thank you so much. I mean, it was overwhelming and touching. And I hugged everyone.
Did something about that moment resonate with you where you maybe realized, I need to speak louder?
Absolutely. I feel like God has given me this platform. I don't know why, but all I can think is that something positive has to come from this, something bigger than me, than I'd ever be. I have to get this out and to tell people. And it's not just, the students are what are truly on my heart right now to touch, because I think they're the most vulnerable. They don't truly understand. But the parents need to know it too, because we're just as guilty as doing it. I see people every day. As I was doing it, so were they, on the side of the road, swerving off, almost hitting a mailbox. I mean, it's not just the kids, but they're the ones that I think truly are the most vulnerable to understanding the consequences.
Do you think there's different pushes we need to make? I know that texting and driving is illegal here, but I think when you get to specifics, I don't believe an officer can take a phone away. Like, he can't ask to see it to prove you were texting,
Sure.
give you a ticket. Are those kind of some things you're thinking about as well, as long as just like, your powerful message?
I think that they have to have an internal change. I think they have to have a change within themselves. The kids, they need to, honestly, I think a visual needs to be seen. I know for me, I'm a visual person. To see my child in that casket, no longer with us, that is pretty visual for me and for my family. I think what we're trying to do is get Cameron, everybody, all her friends knew her as Cece. Her car, nobody else's car. Well, I've seen cars in front of Thompson before, but people knew, her friends knew her car, her little Ford Mustang that we had just got her a year ago. To see that in the front of Thompson High School, where her friends would see it and know that was Cece's car. I think they need to see the impact of somebody they knew. That I would love to speak with. We have been in touch with Dr. Hester, the principal at Thompson High. My husband has. This has kind of been his mission, to get that in front of the kids and maybe do some sort of speech with them. I'm open. I'm so open right now to talk wherever. I would love to talk and have the opportunity anywhere I could, because her life meant the world to us, and whatever I can do to make her death mean something and make it powerful is what I want to do.
This might be a hard question to ask. What is maybe something, if Cameron is hearing you, or you could say that something to her right now, what would you want to say to her?
She knew I loved her because I told her every day of her life. That's a good question. That is a real good question. I want to say I love you, but like I said, that she knew that every day. If I knew that this was going to happen, if that's what you mean, wow, you kind of caught me off guard. I guess I just have to say I love you, and I'm going to do everything I can to honor you. She was special. She was so, and she just never knew it. I really don't think she did. She was sassy and spunky and so talented. She could sing, she was artistic, she was one of the best dancers I knew of. She didn't get it from my side of the family. And drama, she loved to act. I was very honored to be her mother, is what I would say, if that's what I had to say. I was so honored to be your mother.
And that this is not a reflection of her at all. This is good. Like, I love how you were saying that this is the way you're going to honor her.
Absolutely. This isn't what she deserved, but God has allowed this, and He's allowed it for a reason. And I've seen so much come from this already. I mean, I have heard so many things, so many stories, and it just fills my heart and has really helped me move forward and given me the motivation. And just like I said, the peace I've got from God from this, when it happened, I'm going to tell you, she was the one thing I was afraid to lose. I wasn't afraid to lose anything. She was the one thing I was afraid to lose. And when He allowed that to happen, I said, God, I know you've done this for a reason. You just got to help me understand what you want me to do from this. And that's what I just feel very motivated. I feel like my heart's out. And where I really feel like it's those students that really are on my heart right now. I just want to be able to be there for them. I don't know what that means. I have no idea what comes from this. but I know God's going to open all the doors that He wants me to go through, and to bring Him glory, and to honor my daughter out of this, because she was a beautiful soul.
And the outpouring of support has been unbelievable.
Amazing. I mean, my husband, my family, I work right across the street, South Lake Pediatrics, my work family, my church family. We have my parents' church family. I mean, Cameron's friends, CC's friends. They've all just, there's been such an outpouring. I can't even describe it. It's been extremely overwhelming.
I think I'm good. Is there any other thing you wanted to mention?
Anybody? Cameron was my heart. She was the reason I lived, and now I have a new focus on life. She's not here. She's not here anymore. I just want to honor her. I just want these kids to know how much they're loved, how much bright of a future they have. They face so much right now. I mean, this texting is one part of what they face. There's bullying going on. She was bullied for years, and she developed this tough exterior to kind of combat that as a defense mechanism. You know, they have divorce. They have all these things that they're facing, drugs, suicide. You hear it almost daily, and it touches my heart, and it always has, but I just feel it to the extreme now, to just anybody I could touch, you know, and what they can get out of this in any situation. It's these kids that are really touching my heart right now, and they're responding to me, and they're coming to my house, and they're, like I said, they're texting, they're reaching out, and whatever I can do.